barely just 12 years old.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Community Showcase. My name is Irshad Ali and this is Khairunisa Johnson Qasim, and she's from Mustadafin organization. And Khairunisa has been telling us about Mustadafin and telling us of the wonderful work that they do and how they are helping the destitute with regards to health and people that have AIDS, who are poor, who can't afford for medication and those kind of things. So they've been looking after these people. But Khairunisa, you spoke about 5 core parts of, if I can call it that, of Mustadafin. What are the others? And we spoke about poverty alleviation, we spoke about health. What else do you have?
Well, we've got community development, education, and disaster relief.
Right. Tell us about your, let's start with community development. Tell us about
Well, under our community development, I would say poverty alleviation, community development integrates each other, because part of our community development, we have our youth and health projects where our youth are trained to become self-sufficient, self-reliant and independent. That's very much the vision of the organization, and the objective is to make people self-sufficient, self-reliant and independent. And what you'll find is that initially we started off where youth are categorized from the age 18 to 35. Those are the categorization of youth. But our youth and mental health facilitator has realized within the organization that we can work with children from the age of 18 or youth from the age of 18, and that is a totally different dimension. So he's incorporated children from the age of 8 years, which still falls under the ECD or under the educational process of early childhood development, because up till 12 or 14 children falls under the early childhood development program. That we need to incorporate children with at that particular age, because already
if you don't start over there, you're going to fail somehow.
Because if you don't, by then 8-year-olds are already smoking, on drugs, are doing all sorts of ills that needs to be combated in order for them, because if they're already damaging themselves at that particular age, can you imagine what happens to them when they're 16, 17 already, because then they're far gone. And we want to do preventatives instead of start all over again, where you are trying to train people what to do, where they could have been prevented from doing what they're already doing. And so you find that is where we partnered with the schools, where we partnered with the community. So Mustadafin realized that a lot of children have issues with reading and writing. So the remedial reading classes, the maths, the science and the English programs were introduced within that particular structure. And that is also where we had the boot camps for youth, the different crossing barriers programs where we interaction because of cultural differences that people had, bringing that component together in order for us to interact better, communicate better with one another. But what we found, Irshad, in the sense of the extra remedial reading classes, when kids were able to read better, they improved all their subjects in school, and that was the most wonderful part of those particular things.
Look at that. This year we have an organization that not only helps the sick, where we've gone through that, they not only help the poor, but they're actually they're developing people, young minds to read better. And like Khairunisa just said, these people, once they can read better, they're able to everything just better.
Definitely there was the better understanding of what their subjects were about. And last year we had a 99% pass of all our students that went through our programs. I'm not kidding. I'm actually very proud of it.
99% pass.
99% pass. And when we found out what was the one youngster that didn't make it, he had more other issues than the reading particular program. So he needed a special school to deal with the issues at hand. And that is what we are looking at, alhamdulillah. And we hope that this year we will have 100% pass, because that is the objective.
I feel like saying shukran to you, Khairunisa, for the hard work that you're doing. I mean, to hear that you have a 99% pass rate, which is, it's almost unheard of, that kind of pass rate. And this is the hard work that these people are doing.
Well, I can just say I have an absolute wonderful team, because if you're looking at what FIDA, our coordinator in the youth and health mental does, it's phenomenal. Because if you look,
I'm sorry to interject, but what do you call this thing? The youth mental health
coordinator.
So that's his job.
That is, he just sees to those particular aspects.
That's one of the most important things. If you get the kids' heads right, that's where you should start, isn't it?
Of course, if you're looking at the June the 16th program, everybody was looking at the past, and people this group of youngsters
Yeah.
from 8
Yeah.
to 21
Yes.
were looking at the social ills which faced them, like they were saying, school is school, you know, don't give us drugs, give
Yeah.
us hugs,
Yeah.
which was all things that they came up with, which they placarded. That not only was there a political component of June the 16th, but there was a social consciousness of these youth that actually brought about changes within themselves. They fed, they come from all destitute areas, they fed within their community on June the 16th. With that, they had
Isn't that
drama.
amazing? Isn't that amazing? I mean, I have to reiterate what you just said. She said that the destitute children went out in their own communities and fed and helped those people, and this is what this organization is doing. Yeah.
And that is what you can be so proud of
Yeah.
these youngsters, is not only have they fed, they entertained the seniors,
Yes.
they pampered them,
Yeah.
and not just the seniors,
Yeah.
but also the orphans, because they went to orphanages within the area, and then within the broader community, they gave out food. They then also highlighted and created awareness of the social ills which they deal with every day, which was gangsterism, drugs, unemployment, and they walked with those banners through their community, through the streets of Athlone, Hanover Park, Mannenberg, Kailicha, Delft, you know, Mitchell's Plain area. So you found that amongst that group of youth, there was a social consciousness, and we hope that that would make them believe in themselves, but also realize no matter where we come from, no matter what is happening right here, that we can make a difference in our lives and the lives of others.
Yeah, and it's that activation of social consciousness and activation of self, activation of belief in oneself and my own abilities that I really love the
Now,
work that you guys are doing.
that is the work that our youth and mental health are doing, in a sense of believing in yourself.
Yes.
And making yourself you're not just the only one out there that is suffering. There is many others who are. So the confidence of who I am becomes the most important aspect of that.
Yes, very important.
So you'll find that our youth has become more confident in the way they speak, in the way they are dressed, themselves and their peers, and also the respect that they have for one another. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done, and we're not, like Rome was not built on one day, but that is where we cannot stop. We have to continue.
Well, Hainisa, you spoke about community development, health, poverty and education. You've got disaster relief that I've got written down here that you left out, but we have to go to another ad break. So we'll see you, we've got to go pay the bills, we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Belly covered head to toe.